We live off-grid in a quiet, secluded place in the woods. But that doesn't mean that we never leave. We still have errands to run. We still have places to go. And so today I'm going to show you what it looks like to reset my off-grid cabin after being in the city for a day and running all sorts of errands. If you're new, I'm Erica. My husband Mark and I and our 2 kids live fully off-grid in Canada. We try to live a healthy and self-sufficient lifestyle, and that's what we share about in our videos. So I hope you'll subscribe to our channel. Going to the city when you live far from the city is a whole day event. So the whole routine, everything just kind of gets messed up when you do that. And so there's a lot to reset, and of course we have purchased a lot of things in the city, and we do things in bulk as much as possible because we have limited trips to the city. So there's a lot to do the day after we get back. First off, I'm getting going with laundry because normally I do 1 load a day. I do not do a load on a day that we go to the city, of course, because we're gone all day. So there's laundry to catch up on. I only have a washing machine, so I get this going early because I want to be able to hang it up to have sufficient time to dry. We had an unfortunate incident on the drive home. One of the olive oil bottles that I bought broke, so there was some cleanup to do from that. I didn't notice till I had spread olive oil all over the car and all over the floor in the pantry area that it happened. So extra cleanup on top of the tasks I would normally have to do, but that's just how it goes. We store food both upstairs and downstairs. So first I'm kind of separating what needs to go down to the basement, putting that all in one area because the basement is only accessible from the outside of the house. So it's kind of a little trip to go down there. So I want to make sure that everything that needs to go there is in one place. So when I do make that trip, I'm not forgetting anything. Now I'm going to do my best to remove all the oil from the bag that was holding the olive oil. And I'll tell you what it's like going to the city as a rural, off-grid homesteader. For me, it's honestly quite stressful because I'm going about once a month, so I'm trying to line up all these different errands. I'm trying to make sure that I have absolutely everything on my list that I need to get, making appointments at times that make sense. And it's just a lot to plan for, to do all in one day. Now, I really can't complain because I have family in the city where my girls go to and play and eat and have a great time while I do all the shopping and errands. So that is a huge, huge blessing and makes it way less stressful than I'm sure it otherwise would be. But even so, every time I think, okay, I've got a whole day, I can get these things done, but it's still extremely hard to fit it all in. Everything just seems to take longer than it should. And I just gotta come to terms with that. I mentioned in my easy homemade snacks video that we absolutely love frozen grapes for a snack in the summertime. They're just like these little cold popsicles that are so refreshing on a hot day. So I'm getting those soaking in some vinegar water to hopefully remove some of the dirt and pesticides from them, and then later on we'll freeze them. Mark was doing some yard work, and we always have to stop when we find a frog or a toad or a cool insect to look at. So we found this little frog and the girls just loved him. Next, I am working on packaging some bulk meat that I purchased at Costco. If you've been watching for a long time, you probably know that Mark hunts, and we try to source meat from better sources than the store. But this is real life, and we ran out of meat. We eat a lot of meat, and as we are looking for options as to better places we can get higher quality meat, we still have to eat in the meantime. So we are getting meat from Costco and not feeling bad or anything about it. My sweet 5-year-old brought me in a little bouquet that she had picked from the flowers in the yard. So we swapped out the dying bouquet that was in my window vase and put a fresh new one together from the flowers she brought in. On days like this, when I have a ton to do, I am so thankful for the changes I have made to my health that have resulted in consistent energy so I can go through this day, no problem, get everything done, and still feel good and happy. If you're interested to know what I did, I have a free workshop linked below where I go through 3 simple steps I took to get my energy back. Caterpillar. Okay. She liked that stick. After taking a few minutes to enjoy the cool little caterpillar that the kids found, I'm back to the meat here. So, buying things from Costco, they're giant packages. So, I want to divide them into sizes that make sense for our family. And for the ground meat, I'm doing 2-pound portions, and then I also have some big roasts and some chicken drumsticks and thighs that I'm going to divide out just into portions that make sense for us. I had quite the surprise when I was at Costco. Somebody called my name and said, "I watch your videos," and I got to chat with her. Shout out to you, Sarah. It was lovely to meet you. That was just the coolest thing, to meet one of my viewers. So if you ever see me walking around in the store, please stop me, and I would love to have a chat with you. Ground meat is one of my absolute favorites to work with because there's so many ways you can use it in so many different recipes. And I'm going to be having a baby in a couple of months, which means pretty soon I'm going to be getting more and more freezer meals prepped and in the freezer. If you need some ideas for freezer meals, I have a whole collection of them. I will link it down below. Those are meals that I make all the time. I make big batches of them and then freeze portions of them to use at a later date whenever I need a meal. When I know we're having a busy afternoon and I don't want to cook that day, I'll just pull out a freezer meal and heat it up quickly on the stovetop, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. All of the meat goes in deep freezers in the basement. So now that it's all portioned out into Ziploc bags, I'm just returning it all to the same cooler, and then I'll get Mark to move it all down for me later. I rinsed off the grapes, and now I'm getting my 5-year-old to do the job of pulling them all off of the stems, and she does a great job. While she does that, my younger daughter and I are going to continue on with the laundry. we've got to take down all of the dried laundry from 2 days ago so that we have room to hang up all of the freshly washed laundry. I do have a drying line outside that I use somewhat regularly in the summer, but sometimes we're going through periods where we have some showers here and there, and it's just a more reliable place in the loft to dry things because I know they're actually going to get dry and stay dry. Now that all the grapes are off the stems, I'm just throwing them in some bags. I will put those in the freezer and they will be ready to refresh us on the upcoming hot summer days. One thing that helps me to get through days like this is to just keep moving on to the next thing. At the beginning of the day, it feels overwhelming. The house is a mess. There's stuff everywhere that we've brought in. And if I just pick one thing, do it, then pick the next thing, then do it, it's not as overwhelming and I see progress right away. Since I'm putting away wipes, I thought I would ask all of you moms out there for some advice. I had a really hard time potty training my first daughter. It was honestly years of hardship and wet pants. So I am looking for the best way to potty train my 2-year-old. When did you do it? How did you do it? How did it go? What were the things that made a big difference, that helped it to go smoothly and helped them to get it quickly? I just want to hear all of your advice. So please leave your thoughts on that down in the comments. Thank you so much for spending the day with me. We make a new video every week about our off-grid life, so I hope you'll subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.